Hello everybody and welcome to another Transformers third party review. In today's video, thanks to the team at Robot Kingdom, we're taking a slightly early look at the latest offering from DX9 as part of their X series. This is their interpretation of Prime or Convoy and Nemesis Prime or Nemesis Convoy, is it? Or Scourge, whatever you want to call them. These are their minifigures, legend scale, and they've done a very good job. Now these are pre-production samples. They're not final, but I can't imagine they're going to change much with these because they are pretty much there. These figures both come with an axe. Prime's is orange and Nemesis Prime's is red, and they each have a rifle. Again, these are done on a very small scale, but they look absolutely astonishing. And each one of these houses his very own matrix of leadership. Before we have an in-depth look at Prime, let's just take a look at his trailer. Both come with the appropriate trailer. We get doors open at the back. It's better if you've got nails. I really struggle to open any of these things, so I have to kind of open it all the way up, then to push the doors outwards. So we've got these doors open at the back. These runners can come down, again really helpful if you've got nails of some description, but again, it's just like Prime's trailer but done on a very small scale. But I'll cover more about the ins and outs of the trailer once we get him into vehicle mode. For now, we're going to go full on G1. We're going to open up the base like so, fold these feet out, put these sections back inward until they click into place, and then we can also move the repair bay section up, bring the antenna down, and then extend the motorized arm. Right, let's have a proper look at these guys on the rotating base. It's a very clean interpretation of Prime. The back is probably the messiest part of the figure, but even then it's not that bad at all. It's a nice fluid transformation. There's quite a bit of posability with these figures, so you get a lot of variation in the way you can display them. As you see there, I've got Nemesis Prime holding his rifle with both hands. It's a bit of a push, but it manages to do it nonetheless. And as Prime comes around, you see he's wielding his Energon blade. The blades just have small pegs in them, so they peg directly into the hands. The gun is a little bit loose in his hand, but other than that, this being a pre-production sample, you would hope that that's something that's tightened up for the final release, but I can't guarantee that it will be. But all in all, looks wise, these are a very good looking Prime and Nemesis Prime. Now let's take a closer look. Let's start off with Prime. That's a really nice head sculpt. We do have some light piping on the eyes there. They really do beam quite a lot. It's a very kind of cartoon-esque chest there, really squared off. I love the grill there. As you can see, the front flap is all one section, so unfortunately when we bring the legs forward, the entire flap piece does need to move. But if we come down to the legs, really great design, and it's nice to see the legs and the crotch painted white, just like the cartoon. Coming around to the arms, really nice looking arms, and the back there. This is the messiest part, I think, but for the fact that swings around and forms the front of the grille, much like we get with the MP, I think they've done a really grand job. And you've got a little peg here as well, which would imply that we can peg these onto a flight stand and have him in a very kind of dramatic pose. I mean, just look at how clean those legs have come out. They've done a really smooth job. We can just open up the chest, exposing the matrix of leadership, again done in those nice cartoon colors. There's something that DX9 does a remarkably good job at. I mean, bringing Grimlock, for example, cartoon colours, that lovely bold yellow. I would love masterpiece figures to be done like that. And here we have Nemesis Prime again, same sort of thing, got a really great head sculpt there. You just want to have the light coming in there through those eyes. They really reflect nicely. Got the gun pressed up against his arm in a kind of heroic pose. That's again because the guns are very loose on him, unfortunately, but absolutely adore the paint on this guy. We're coming down to the legs. They're more of a smoked grey with a hint of teal on there, and again we've got this teal on the crotch and on the forearms. You've got the gun being a little bit floppy in the hand. If we open up his chest piece, again we have the Matrix, but this time done in that red and flat silver. Yeah, really good figures articulation wise for Prime and Nemesis Prime. We can look up and down, we can go left and we go right, we can tilt side to side. We've got a ball mount on that arm. We can also rotate forwards and backwards. That is part of the transformation, but it's still nice to have a butterfly joint on there nonetheless. We have a double jointed elbow. We have a pivot on the wrist with a pin that goes through here, again part of the transformation. The waist and the waist skirt both rotate around quite freely. Lifting the skirt up, we can go forwards this much, backwards this much, out to the side. Upper thigh rotation is minimal. Bend at the knee is about 90 degrees, and we have some pivoting on those ankles, no left and right, and we do get some up and down motion on the toes. And here we have them with their repair bays. Now the repair bays are slightly simplified when comparing them to the official Masterpiece versions, but at the same time we have enough in there to keep us going. Yes, we don't get a roller. That's something I would have definitely have liked, but I love the fact that we've got this arm coming off, we've got the repair claw, we've got storage options on the inside there for Prime's weapons, and all in all it does everything that it needs to. Now in the Transformers fandom we currently have two legend scales. We have what DX9, Unique Toys and Iron Factory have been delivering. They're aimed at being displayed with some of the older legends. Now Hasbro has taken it upon themselves to release legends in a slightly bigger scale. Now they are coming up slightly bigger than what they used to, and in turn we get the knockoff brand like Mech Fan Toys and the products that Spike Art is doing as well, and they're larger than these. These are bridging the gap between legends and deluxe class. They're oversized versions of these figures. They've reverse engineered them and taken away all of the hard work and made them bigger. So that may tick some people's boxes, but a majority of the older legends work exceptionally well with these pieces. With regards to transforming Prime up, we collapse the trailer like you would with the original or the Masterpiece version. His gun fits in one side. I can't for the life of me get the axe to fit. I'm sure there is somewhere in there it could be displayed, but I really haven't got a clue. And we can just close these up, and much unfortunately like the hands, the peg on the inside doesn't really hold the gun as sturdy as it should. But I mean, just look at the trailer. That is remarkably well done. We can bring in these sections here, the supports. Now I've removed the gun because it doesn't stay in there very well. The wheels roll. The underside is very good. It's very clean. We have these supports for the fifth wheel and the connector. We can just bring those up, and we have a fake spare wheel underneath. Now let's take a look at Prime and see how he transforms. Like most of the test shots or samples we get in, we don't get instructions with them, so we kind of have to fuddle our way through. First things first, they lift up the skirt, rotate the legs around. You then want to collapse the hands into those arms. Come around to the back. This is going to come down this is going to come down, grab the torso and this lower waist piece and separate those. This can now drop down on both sides, which in turn allows us to drop the chest, rotate that chest fully, and bring in the truck chest, which I think is a fantastic because you get to keep the same grille as well. You can drop down this back piece with the rotation on Prime's head. We can drop Prime's head down as well, and there's two little grooves in there that the ears can sit into nicely. With these pieces extended outwards, we can rotate these around fully, and these are going to form the front of the truck. You can then bend these arms backwards and inwards and just slide those into the groove, and they tab just into the side here. And finally we can bring this piece down and this piece down, and that locks that off. I really like how that transforms. You want to untab these leg bars. They're going to come outwards, and as they come out, it allows the leg to collapse fully into that section. And there's a tab and a groove that's just going to line up. You need to push this tab really firmly inside the leg here, and then these two legs are going to come in and forcibly push those in. I'm hoping they kind of modify the resistance, because now that I've got this tapped into the leg, if I try and undo the legs, the leg generally comes away from the ball socket, because this kind of tongue and groove tab is stronger than what the ball socket is. But there we go, there is Prime. What a pleasantly easy transformation, and the result is pretty darn good. I love how that looks. Very clever indeed. Now we've got two holes on there. Normally you'd have a fifth wheel on here, but I'll go along with just two tabs, and then there we go, and it rotates as well. Lots of nice clearance, and it rolls exceptionally well. And there they are. Don't they look ravishing? Let's bring in some more figures for a comparison. I know this figure isn't going to be to everybody's taste. I know that the Spike Art team at Mech Planet, they're going to be giving us a Prime as well. So it's, the options are there. There's loads of different variations. If we bring in Huffer, for example, that again is a pretty nice scale. Now he's not going to work with the Prime trailer, but I believe it was a G1 Huffer they had pulling the trailer, which was nice to see, and they all scale remarkably well. I'm not sure if the trucks are meant to be bigger than the minivan. I don't know, but all I know is that in bot mode they do look exceptionally well done. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, the latest offering from DX9 as part of the X series. They're Prime or Convoy and Nemesis Prime, both done to a very good standard, especially for a Legends scale figure. I love the fact that we have that motion on the trailer, and we actually have the repair bay. It's a fully functioning trailer, which I wasn't expecting, so I do like that they've included that. I love the transformation, and all in all, if you're looking for a good Legends class Prime or Nemesis Prime, then with the X9 I don't think you can go wrong. Always a good solid piece, great plastic, great build quality, and they just need to fine tune the resistance on that gun, and then these would be perfect. If you found this video useful, feel free to give it a big thumbs up, share, and of course subscribe. And until next time, from myself, Prime and Nemesis Prime, goodbye.